Good morning, everybody here. Good morning to everybody here. Good morning to our listeners and viewers in Torah Anytime and to the YouTube clients. Today we're going to talk about Purim, take a break from the Omid Yomi of Bov Metzia. We are in those very important days between Shabbos Zohar and Purim, and I have a few questions to ask about Purim. Question number one, Mishanichnas Odo Malbin Besimcha. That was almost 2 weeks ago, and I'm still asking, why is it that on Adar specifically you have to be happy? Yeah, Purim is a happy day. The kids love it, we love it, whatever. But what does it mean really, Malbin Besimcha? Why is, and that's the second question, why is the zodiac sign, the mazel of Adar, why is it fish? What does it have to do with Adar that is fish? Yeah, what's the internal connection? What's the essential connection here? And also, there's a pasuk which I'd like to explore. You know, it's one of those psukim that I say. We say it in Kabbalah Shabbos from Tilim. And honestly, I don't really understand the depth of this pasuk, the deep meaning of the pasuk. It says, yeah, Mikolis Maim Rabim Adirim Mishber Yom, Adir B'Moram Hashem. Yeah, Adirim Mishber Yom. The waves of the sea are Adirim. How would you translate Adirim? Tremendous, great, grand, Adir, tremendous, powerful. Adir b'ma'orim Hashem, and Hashem in heaven is Adir, is also great and tremendous. What does it mean? Yeah, what's the connection? The waves are tremendous, and if so, what does it mean? Who cares? Yeah, and what does it mean that Hashem is also Adir? Let's try and answer these questions in a few and get deeper and deeper and understand the essence of Purim. So first of all, water, according to the Gaon of Vilna, the essence of water is life. Not such a chiddush. Everybody knows that if you look for life in outer space, they say if there's any kind of water in a certain planet, they assume maybe there's life, right? Water always indicates life. You can't live without water. Yeah, nobody lives in very, very, very dry places. It's impossible to live. There's no water whatsoever. In a deeper sense of the meaning, the Gra says also that the sea also represents life. It represents the power of life. The power of life because, and it's the power of life in Olam Hazeh. The Goin in Yoino says that the ship, when it goes through the sea, is traveling through Olam Hazeh to the dry land, which is Olam Haba. So, in other words, the Olam Hazeh is really a shaky place. It's like the sea. In Olam Hazeh, the water represents what? Represents the power, continuity, the power to have children, the power to eat, the power to procreate, all these physical things that are presented by the sea. The sea split into two when it saw the Oren of Yosef. Yosef HaTzadik had his Oren there, and then the sea saw the coffin of Yosef HaTzadik, and then it split into two. Why? Because Yosef HaTzadik was Lamal min Teva. Water represents Teva, nature, the way the things go. Teva also has to do with litboa. Litboa in Hebrew means what? Latbia, litboa, to drown, to sink. Last time I checked, the place where people drown, Lo Aleinu, usually is in the sea. In other words, the sea represents the Teva. The sea also has the quality of having fish in it. Fish, they multiply more than anything else. Yeah, like the bracha. Yeah, you multiply like fish. In other words, they have no end. Also, it says the dogim are pritzi. The Gemara in Bava Basra says that fish are poruts, whatever that means. That fish like pritzes, whatever that means. That fish are poruts. But what does pritzes mean? And now we're getting to the second point. When the sea has no limitations, yeah, then without gvul samta bali avoirun, says many times in Halacha and Hashkafa that if the sea wouldn't have Hashem stopping it, the sea would have continued to no end. The sea conceptually would actually conquer and go through the entire world. Water cannot stop, doesn't stop, and won't stop. Yeah, sounds like somebody in a demonstration. Yeah, the water doesn't stop. Ask anybody in Ramat Beit Shemesh. Either you had water leaking onto you or water leaking from your apartment to the below apartment. Yeah, I'm not trying to deter people from coming here. Yeah, and it goes from the 10th floor to the 3rd floor through the machsan in the 5th floor. Water has no, you always ask the builder, they say, Maim, they find their way through. Water doesn't stop at anything almost. It always gets through, just like the taiva of the person's desire. If it doesn't have control, if you don't say stop and I'll navigate you the right way, I'll channel you, your taivas, just like the water, are paruts. What does pritzes mean? A girl with pants? A boy that watches movies? What does pritzes actually mean? Uforatzta yoma v'kedmo, tzafon v'negbo. Lifrotz means to break. meaning you break those barriers that you should have kept. That's peritus means. Lifot, a burglar in modern Hebrew, is somebody that actually breaks in. So ufaratsta, water, and taiva, they break. Dogim are poruts. I didn't check exactly what kind of activity they do, the fish, but lamaisa, fish are the creatures of water, of taiva, of lust, and when they're uncontrolled, they're just all over the place. That's water. Comes the month of Adar. So now we know already that the pasuk we just quoted, Adiri Mishbirayam, the waves of the sea are Adir, they are tremendous. Adir, says Moshe Shapira Zatzal, the master of Machshava, says Moshe Shapira, Adir means the power to overcome and overpower another power. Adir means to be mitgaber, to be greater than the other one. The greatest, and you're Adir, you're more Adir than him, you overcome the other one. That's what Adir actually means. The overcoming power. The one that's prevalent, the one that stays at the end. So people say Adirim are the Mitzrim. Some people say. The Rashbam says no. Maim Adirim. The water were stronger than the Mitzrim. The Mitzrim had the most powerful army in the world. In the great water, meaning in the overpowering water, the Mitzrim. Here comes the pasuk and says, "Oh, there's somebody up there, Adirim Ishber Yam." The Yam, the Taivus, the power of what? Of procreating, the power of being, the power of physicality has no limitations. Yeah, Mishberei Yam, they break. The seas, the waves are great waves. Adir b'moram Hashem. Hashem is greater than them. Adar, Adir, says Moshe Shapira. The Chodesh of Adar means you can be Adir. How does that manifest itself? Well, it depends who you ask. You ask Haman, says in the Medrash, Haman was happy when Chodesh Adar was the one that by chance, by luck, by playing that roulette, whatever he had there, we just learned about, Mesachek Bekuvia, Haman was very happy that Adar was the month that you can kill the Jews. Why? There are different reasons, because Moshe Rabbeinu died, whatever. There are reasons. We can see a deeper meaning here. Adar, by nature, is a month of nature. It's a month that Amalek loves. They just want nature to control the world, non-stop, all over the place, have everything porut, open, and that's about it. And Amalek just loves that. And that's the month we're going to kill all the Jews. Because we were the Koch HaTeva, we are Amalek. On the other hand, what happened in the end? V'na'afochu, it's also a month in which we can be Adir, more Adir than the Teva. We can be above Teva and use that power of Adir, or being stronger, to overcome the power, overcome our desires, overcome our nonsense, and actually become stronger. Remember the tsunami? That was almost 20 years ago. I never understood this concept, to be honest with you. I mean, never doubted it because I'm a believing person, but came the tsunami, and what happened? Over 200,000 people in over 10 countries, they died. I just checked yesterday to make sure. Yeah, more than 200,000. It's not funny at all. I'm just saying I not have such good memory, but it was when the sea really, lets itself go, loses control, hair down, everything goes. And that's what can happen with a person that has no limitations. And that's what happens to society, to an entire world. And that's the world we live in when there are no limitations. In the Chodesh of Adar, what can we do? We can be Adir and be greater than the powers of nature. It says also in the Gemara, I forgot where, I think also in Megillah, whoever wants that his nechosim, his assets should be successful, Yita ben Adar, he should plant a tree called Adar in the middle of those in the chosim. What's the chosim? Assets, teva. I have to make money. I got to work. How do you want me to have money? That's derech teva. But remember the Adar, the lamala the teva, in the middle of your work. Here comes the punchline. Here comes the real punchline. B'siyata d'ishmaya. What did Amalek want to do on Purim? And he always wants to do it. 2023, he wants to do it. What's Amalek? Am shemolek. Kill is true, and limlok in halacha means one thing: to behead. Yeah, to behead. That's what they used to do, like you're motioning with your hands. They wanted with the fingernail, the kohen, very nice, the oila and the chatas of the one shalom or not shalom, the bird of the korban, was beheaded, partially beheaded, fully beheaded, depends which one. Limlok is to behead, and Amalek are very nice people. Amalek, that the Nazis, when they were not killing Jews in concentration camp, they're very polite people. What do they want to do? They want to actually behead Kivyochel HaKadosh Baruch Hu from us. You ask a believing goy, where's God? Oh, it's a nice spirit up there. I didn't speak to all the goyim, but I did a quick online research. It's more or less what you get. Even the believing ones, God is better. In God we trust, but I really believe in the dollar. Yeah, in God we trust is a being up there. And Amalek says, oh, very nice. You can have a note says in God we trust, and my life will be godless. God is up there, I'm up here, I'm down here, and I cut and I sever between God and me. That's called Amalek, Am Shemolek. It's a nation that beheads. Comes the Megillah, and what happens in the Megillah, as we all know, Hashem's name is not in the Megillah. Because Megillah, just like the sea, just like the fish of Mazel Adar Dogim, the Megillah doesn't have Hashem in it. Hashem's name is not there. The Megillah represents Teva. Megillah represents what happens under the water. And what happens in the Megillah? Esther and Mordechai, mainly Esther, she's the queen of the Megillah. She's moiser nefesh, kasher avadati avadati. She basically is willing to lose her marriage, do something really, really austere, or be killed by the king when she gives her consent to go to the king. That's tremendous Mesiras Nefesh. She's one with Hashem, and she brings Hashem down here. You, Amalek, completely fail. You think Hashem is up there, and you can sever him from us. You think that Hashem is A and we are B. So you can cut the connection between us. You're wrong. Hashem and us are in the same place. You can disconnect A from B. You can't disconnect A from A. If Hashem is enmeshed with each and every fiber in our lives, Hashem is here in every molecule, in every thought and everything. What's there to sever? You guys got it completely wrong, Amalek. Because Hashem is really, really here every second down here on earth in the lowliest places. And that's what the Megillah teaches us. It's a place where Hashem is not seen, so to speak. It's almost that Teva. We're below the water. Tavanu biven metzula. We're below the water. But Hashem is really down here with us in the water, in the taiva, in all the ma'asim we do. And therefore Amalek completely failed. May we be zoich this year to see the Mashiach with all the stories that are around us here in Eretz Yisrael, terrible piguim, terrible things that happen, all the bad ashpos, nobody has to talk about it, the media and all that, and may we be zeichet to bring Hashem to us inside our homes, to the inner of the house, and may we be zeichet to get out of our tzara. I just want to add one more idea, and with that I'll finish. It's an afterthought. Think of the word tzara. Everybody knows what's a tzure. I spoke to somebody barely, a new Baal Tshuva. He said he knew the word tzure, like trouble. No, tzara. What does the word tzara mean? What's the opposite of simcha? Tzara. Now, it says in the Gemara at the beginning of Eruvin that there are two ways to measure an amma. We all know about the measurement of amma, right? 40 centimeters, 60 centimeters, I don't know, the American measurements. And the Gemara says there are two types of ammas. Amma atzeva, the sad one, which is the more constricted, the smaller one, yeah, and the bigger one, either 5 tefachim and 6 tefachim, 6 and 7, 5 tefachim, 6 tefachim. There are two versions to the amma: the smaller version, the bigger version. The longer version of the amma is called amma soichekes and also shoichekes. You can read it both ways. It's either an amma that laughs because it's bigger, it looks as if it's smiling. When you smile, you feel broader, right? Physically and mentally, you have breadkeit. Mashein can tzara. What's tzara that everybody knows about? Tzara comes from the word tsar, narrow. A person feels, oh, I'm in a meitzar. Tsar means two things: tzara, trouble, and being in a narrow place. When a person feels constricted, I'm stuck in this lousy job. I'm stuck in this lousy marriage. I'm stuck without money. I'm stuck without friends. I'm stuck without understanding. I'm stuck with this v'chule. Being stuck, being in this dire straits in a narrow place, that's tsar. Mishenichnas odor marbin besimcha. Odor, the power to overcome, is shochek. Shochek, as opposed to sochek, means what? What's lishchok? To grind. You are in the mitzar, and your laughter and your broad-mindedness by happiness can actually drill through those holes, can actually break those walls of the mitzar by lishchokotam, by grinding them, by breaking them slowly, because it's your perception, it's your perceptive. You can view your marriage and your parnos and everything else with a new light when you're being adir, you're being greater than the circumstances of the teva, and this is the secret of Adar. This is what Purim is all about, our ability to get out of tzara, out of the dire place, out of the narrow place, into a new perspective of simcha, of breadth, And Bezras Hashem will be Zoichet V'Moicha Amalek, as we did yesterday, and we'll do again by the Megillah Bezras Hashem, and we'll be Zoichet to see Mashiach Tzidkenu.